and gentlemen, welcome to Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak. With me today on episode 46 is Spooky Stormcaller. Spooky, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah, all right. All right, Spooky. Let's not hesitate. Let's get into the bare necessities. Sorry, sis.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, how long have you been playing Amtgard?
How am I what?
How long have you been playing Amtgard?
Like 4-ish years? I think a while. Longer than most people think I have because I'm so kind of like in the background.
Mhm.
I took a break there for a bit and then I came back. And now I'm doing all the amp guard all the time because I couldn't before.
That's true. How long would you say you've been aware of Amtgard?
About as long.
Mhm.
Right after we found out about amp guard, my husband started going to their meetings in Rio Rancho. We found out at a convention.
Cool. Fantastic. Where does Spooky Stormcaller's persona come from?
Just me. It's just the exaggerated. It's all of my bits of personality exaggerated, plus in that early 2000s mall goth way, just like very the coolest version of who I want to be.
Okay. All right. Sir Alikar would like to know, expanding upon your persona, why are you so spooky?
Um, Same thing, but my in lore, my real name can't be pronounced, but roughly translates as just spooky thing in the woods. But
Okay.
nobody can say it.
Awesome. Stillhead would like to know, how does the witch exist in every kingdom?
So Spooky and Gideon too. Our Witch's Coven is in a pocket universe.
Mm.
Um, and that's how it stays protected. And the idea is that you have to wander into the forest at like a desperate time, and you wander into this place where you can get help from the witches. But we can also step out wherever we want. Like it's a dimensional thing. And
Excellent.
so I can go to whatever place that I want to go because I don't actually exist here.
Fantastic. We're actually going to talk about the witch's forest later on, but just to keep up with the persona stuff, Stillhead would also like to know, if you could have a familiar, what would it be and why?
I do have a familiar, actually. He's around here somewhere. My little bastard black cat named Doom or Doomy. Him and my persona and I both have him.
Okay, spooky and doomy. That's quite the combo.
Oh yeah,
All right,
very
cool.
traditional black cat.
All right. Nice. Okay, so what achievement or award are you most proud of receiving?
I think the it might have been the first one I received or the second one. It's my Zodiac from Baihu because I didn't know I was getting it, and he startled me so much when he gave it to me because because I had never met him before, and so this shirtless man, everybody knows Bayou, this shirtless man comes up to me and he's like, "Spooky, you're spooky, right?" And then he like calls a huzzah from the whole park, and I'm like, What's going on?" And it was for my Stormfall Square in Azrael Jade's Nighting Blanket.
That was a good one too. Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
first. That was my first coronation.
Oh,
Yeah, was Arizona Jade's knighting. So that was big time for me. And yeah, I got to see that. It's fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah, and also Baihu is a good dude. So good point.
Yes.
Um, you may have a unique answer here. What's your favorite battle game?
My favorite battle game?
Yeah.
Um, my favorite battle game is not because I'm a color. So my favorite, can you go do that? My favorite game is the first time I went to Pegasus after spending like a year and a half at Stormfall. Um, was this game they were playing where there was pieces to a key. It
Hmm.
was like 3 keys. So at Stormfall they just played like capture the flag a lot. All the time. And so this was the first like unique battle game I had ever seen. So there was like a bunch of teams and you had to combine the key to open the chest. And it was my first moment of like, oh, this game can be more than tag with swords. And so that's why it's like my favorite because it just like holds a really intense memory for me.
Okay.
of just being like, oh, it can be creative. Cool. I didn't know that.
Okay. So your color
Mhm.
is what would you say is your favorite class?
Favorite class?
Hmm.
Um, I don't know the classes all that well.
Okay.
I really like watching people shoot each other with arrows, but I also like the manic energy of throwing spell balls at each other while talking really fast. I enjoy that. I like watching that a lot.
All right. So either an archer or any of the casters.
Any of the
That's
casters, really.
there
Just
we
watching
go.
people manically sprint while trying to talk. It's perfect.
Okay, fantastic. That's a great answer. It's a first on the show as well. All right, those are the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Let's talk about the three questions the KOK viewers have asked every week. We'll start off with the one from Kron. Sir Glenolf uh, is supposed to be receiving a toaster and or soda maker. What do you feel about these two things?
Um, I'm like a witch. I'm not Santa. That's more of like a take it up with Santa Claus.
All
I'm
right,
not in charge of doling things out.
that's fair.
I
That's
don't
fair.
distribute items.
Oh, is Sir Glenolf deserving of a toaster and
Sir
soda
Glenolf
maker?
is deserving of all the things ever. He's a great
All
guy.
the things. All
He's a
right.
great guy.
All right, Sir Glenolf, you have a chance here to get all the things if we can
All
figure
the
out how to get them
things.
there. All the things. Spooky
I'm not
Cesspool.
I'm not in charge of it, but I think on an emotional level, and
Let's just make sure that's clarified. Spooky is not Santa. That is
I'm not Santa,
okay. All right.
in case anyone was wondering.
Right. Still, I would like to know what's your thoughts on bears?
This is my thought on bears. Ah, you can't see all that well. It's so I have a bear onesie that all three of my sons have worn, and they are adorable.
Oh, that's great. Uh, what about your top three bears?
My three sons. I just told you.
Well,
Lauren, Jason, Gideon, in the
I
bear onesie are
I've
my top three bears.
I've tried really hard to score some more points because Morgan accuses me of cheating. We'll talk about that later.
How are you gonna cheat when my three favorite bears are my children?
Well, Morgan would also like to know: are there bears on the moon?
Yeah, that Desmond one, right?
Maybe. Yeah,
Desmond, the moon bear.
Still, I would like to know: what are your thoughts on Dragonspine getting a mobile pool and or jacuzzi?
Mobile how?
We're gonna take the cap off of Dom's truck, and we're just gonna put a pool back there.
Hmm. Okay.
Maybe.
Well,
That's
I
one
mean,
of the
like,
solutions.
I feel like a bag of holding full of water would be a little easier, but that's like dimensional magic, and this is not office hours. So, like, if you need to inquire about dimensional magic, office hours.
Mm, okay. Um, so can we have the pool or jacuzzi or
I mean, yeah, if you're willing to pay the price of magic for it, it'll probably just be like a couple fingers. A jacuzzi might be more.
okay?
I'm not I'm not the one that decides the price, the universe is. So like you're
Mm,
free to inquire.
okay. Well, I think Morgan would volunteer the fingers. Anything past that, we'd probably have to ask someone else. Um, would you allow bears in the pool and or jacuzzi if we got this up and running?
That what you do with the magic after I give it to you is purely your business.
Okay.
It's not my business. I'm not going to be cleaning fur out of the traps, so I don't care what you do once you leave.
Okay.
Take the
Fair
pool
enough.
with you.
My apologies. You're right. I should have thought of this in advance. Um, all right. So those are the three questions the KOK viewers have asked every week. Let's talk a little bit about you. So what I've talked,
Okay.
I set it up as um, present and future. Let's talk about your present currently. Still, I would like to know how do you
Mhm.
feel? How did you pick your belt line, and why did you accept it?
Um So I didn't want to be in a belt line before because I'm very chaotic and kind of like to do whatever I want. and I've always kind of upset people in that way. I'm very non-traditional. And so in all of my groups, I've been like the outlier. And I kind of didn't want to be like I don't know, like the black sheep of a belt line, but
Hmm.
then still had kind of almost sarcastically, so much so that I had to ask her later. I was like, "Hey, were you like serious about that, or were you just like kidding? Because if you were kidding, it's fine. It's totally fine. It's fine." Uh, but she said she was serious, and then I just kind of, I don't know, something about the energy of it. I was like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, sure, let's do it." And then she was like, if you don't like it or if we're not the right fit, you can always leave. So it's a very like low risk commitment. But so far I'm pretty happy. Like I'm glad cuz they all seem just as chaotic and fun as I am. So they don't
They
seem
are.
like they're not going to hinder me at all in my chaos.
There you go. Yang would like to know is how excited are you about your new belt sibling?
I'm pretty excited. I didn't know what that meant,
Mhm.
obviously not knowing about belt lines.
Sure.
But out of the blue, he just messaged me and was like, "Hey, we're siblings now. What are you working on?" And we've been like talking to each other about the upcoming Dragon Master, and it's been kind of nice to just have somebody to like bounce that stuff off of. So
Okay.
like, I know he was being silly, but like, I am pretty happy with him as my belt
That's
brother.
awesome. You mentioned Dragon Master. That would be this Saturday, February
Yes,
6th. Uh,
yes.
everyone should enter.
I have to enter the day before because I have work.
That's fair. But we're gonna make it work for you so you can get a score. It'll be fantastic. Uh, would like to know what households are you a part of?
I am only part of one for sort of the same reason as the Beltline thing. Like I don't like to be put in boxes, but the one that I'm part of is House of the Spectral Dragons, which is a pretty new household that started like at the beginning of COVID, so they haven't gotten to have much traction.
Right.
um, but it's for autistic players and allies and advocates. And he mentioned that the main goal of it is to help autistic players have like advocacy to monarchy, because I know that that's a problem that happens quite a bit, is like because one of the main struggles is communication.
Hmm.
And so having that extra person to help you communicate what you need to monarchy is like super important. And like I said, because it kind of was formed at the beginning of all of this, like it hasn't gotten to do much
Right.
other than we kind of talk to each other sometimes.
Okay. We're going to talk about inclusivity here in a little bit. Just to keep it moving, we have some questions about your crafting. Um, how did you get interested in crocheting?
Um, when I was 6 years old, my grandmother taught me how, and I got put in a crochet club in school, which in hindsight, that's so weird and specific that there was a crochet club at school for like 8-year-olds. So I've been crocheting since then. And then I don't know, when I was like 22, there was this project I did that taught me a ton more stitches and stuff. So that's why I'm at the level I'm at now. But I've just been crocheting for just an insanely long time for how old I am.
That's
Same with a lot of the crafts that I do.
that's good. That you can't argue with that. Like, chime in. What would you say is the coolest stitch that you know?
I had to think about this one actually. So the post stitch is a specific kind of stitch that makes it so you can mimic like the Celtic knots that they have in knitting.
Hmm.
You can do different like different weird designs. It's basically like wrapping the stitch around another one
Hmm.
instead of being on its own. And so you can mimic other patterns rather than crocheting with that one. But I know a lot of stuff. It's kind of like being asked your favorite song. It's like, well, what's the situation?
We're gonna
What do
ask
I?
you about your favorite song later.
Oh, I don't know what my favorite song is.
Well, it's specific to Kodiak's viewpoint, so you'll see. You'll see.
Okay, all right,
We're
okay.
we're gonna skip one question to go. What is your favorite painting?
Like that I've done or in general?
Let's stick with what you've done.
Okay. That's harder actually somehow. My favorite painting I think is the fireplace or the forest fire. It's supposed to be a campfire, but it looks a little like a forest fire.
Hmm.
I messed up somewhere. but it looks real scary and I enjoy it.
Cool. Did you see this one?
I did see that one.
Yeah, I just did that. I just did that. Yeah, that's Mew. That's my boy. Uh, moving on. It's not about me. Um, how many types of paints are you comfortable using?
Um, so watercolor and acrylic I've been using forever for the same reason as crocheting. My
Hmm.
grandma taught me. And then oils I did once in high school and then recently just got back into it. So oil, watercolor, and acrylic.
I, oof, that's. What about your favorite paint shade?
Oh, my favorite paint shade is Tyrian purple because it's one of the historic paints that I recently got, and it's like this insanely pretty maroony purple. It's like the original royal purple. It's made
Mm,
of smushing snails,
cool.
but it's really pretty, and there's no real way to describe it like digitally, like what it actually looks like.
Right. Awesome. Last question for this set of crafting stuff. Best paint shade and why is it the mummy one?
Ah, the mummy brown. I wouldn't disagree with that actually, because at some point, some artist somewhere was painting, I assume, near the pyramids and was like, "Oh, I'm out of paint. You know, I'm gonna smush some mummies up and I'm gonna make paint out of it, and it's gonna be brown and it'll be fantastic." That's how I don't
Whoa.
know. Yeah, I don't know how it actually happened, but that's how it happened in my head, because it's actually paint made of crushed mummies.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah. Who does that?
I have no idea. Uh,
Who's just like, I'm gonna smush a dead body for paint?
okay.
Why?
All right. Transitioning slightly.
Okay.
Uh, still, I would like to know, uh, what is your favorite tarot card?
The star. I actually have a tapestry of it. It's like a huge tapestry that takes up my whole wall.
Do you want
Um,
to? Why is that?
because it's, I mean, not to sound super cheesy, but it's the one that describes me the best, I think. It's like the
Hmm.
fortune telling, foresight, omniscience type thing. It's, I don't know, it's the spooky card without meaning death.
Okay. Okay. So tarot is a little bit of the arts and the science combined. So let's talk a little bit more about arts and science then. What other arts and sciences are you interested in?
Um, I can do a lot of stuff. Because I get hyper focused on things and I have to learn it and I have to know it. Um, so I can do several different types of crochet. I can sculpt, I can paint. Um, Now I forgot everything that I know how to do. I know how to do many things.
Right.
I want to learn how to do chainmail
Mm,
eventually.
mm. That's
Um,
that. That was the next question. Is what were you? Did you still want to learn? Chainmail's a really good one.
I do want to learn chainmail. There's also a bunch more crochet that I don't know. Like, I'm always learning new ones and I'm always finding ones I don't know. So I'm just trying to be the master of all crochet, and I haven't gotten there yet.
You'll get there. Give it
I'm
time.
getting there. I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet.
All right. Into a specific art style. What got you into decorating?
Oh, so I've been into that my whole life. My grandma was a, not to talk too much about my grandmother. Um, my grandmother was a bakery manager, and when I was younger and I'd go visit her at work, I just thought like the cake decorators were rock stars. I was like, that is the coolest job. They were covered in brightly colored frosting and like all this stuff. And I wanted to be a tattoo artist, but then kind of reverted to cake decorating because my wrists are really bad.
Hmm.
Um, but I did it. I'm there now. It's not as rock starry as I thought it was going to be, but it is still nice to be an artist for a living.
That's great. That's fantastic. Looking into the chat, still wanted to point out that she could definitely help you with the basic chain stuff. Um, so there that is. Uh, Going back to the cake, what is the favorite cake that you've ever made?
Besides bees, hell no cake, which I had the honor of making, and then she destroyed in front of me. Um, Probably this cake I made where they came in and they asked for the ugliest colors possible, and then they were like, "Can you write fine go on it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." Oh my god.
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
I
I
can.
can. I've done a lot of like really crazy artistic ones, but the ones that like get me are the ones that are so ridiculous. Like I think I wrote one that I can't say on here because it's very COC3, but
Oh, okay.
but
Okay, that's fair.
it's a good story if you'd like to hear it sometime.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about this at a later time. Um, so the chances of us getting a bear cake
Pretty high.
pretty high.
I've been a cake decorator for like 6 years. I can do a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm sure that if we mention this to the other bears in the community, that they would want a fair and equal portion of the the cake to be their bear instead of it just being this bear, which is
A
the best bear.
Franken bear?
A Franken bear, yes.
Asking me to make a Franken bear cake. I can do
Yep.
that. I've done a lot
Mhm.
of stuff. I made a 3-tiered monster cake like a month ago. It happened. Nothing surprises me anymore. Like people try all the time to be like, "Well, what about this ridiculous cake?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. We can do that."
You're so
People
chill. It's the best.
people ask for really weird stuff all the time.
It's always, don't they? All right. So you had mentioned that you have some bad wrists. Still, have, would like to know how do you prevent injuries to wrists when you're doing so many crafts that rely on some tendons?
I seemingly just pick all the crafts that use like this specific tendon in my wrist. I use athletic tape and I tape my wrist up when they start to hurt or I'll like put them on a heating pad. It's a constant struggle.
Mm,
Like stretching, but mostly athletic tape because I used to wear braces, but it's hard to work and do stuff with braces, but K tape.
cool. I wanted to bring up something that you're doing that's super awesome, and that's the Witches Forest. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but you're actually doing almost a question of the day on our
Mhm.
Discord where um, you're getting some insight of some of the players, and there's been discussion of you doing a live version of that,
Mhm.
which will be super fun. But what inspired you to do the Witches Forest?
So being a color, and everybody missing Amp how it was, I never really fought, so I'm not missing that at all. But I used to sit at the sidelines, especially with like Sir Alucard and Dame Leela, and visiting knights and visiting crafters. They
Mhm.
would talk to me, and I would just get to hear all these really cool stories or funny stories about, Amtgard way back in the day, or Gathering of the Crowns, or whatever. And I kind of missed that, but also I everybody is kind of hurting for community right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Everybody wants to feel connected to Amtgard still. And I was like, well, everybody likes to tell stories about themselves. Nobody has a forum to just be like, oh, this one time I fell on a sword, but it's a fun story to tell. And so like I wanted to do that. And I have it in other kingdoms too, because other kingdoms like to tell stories. Um, and so I just wanted to make that place for people. And people are free to ask questions too. I don't have to ask all the questions. Like B asked a question once.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
It's it's really good, and if you're listening to this and you haven't looked into it, go to our Dragonspine Discord and look at that. Some honest, heartfelt responses to some of these questions. Uh, there are times where I cannot get the courage to put my answer on there because it would be like these are hard hitting questions. It's not like KOK at all. It's serious.
It's
Um,
introspective questions, and they can be in character or just your experiences,
exactly.
or if you're in Polaris or Nine Blades.
Yeah,
There's also Witches Forests there, sort of in Nine Blades. They just let me take over their roleplay channel sometimes.
yeah. Hey, it works. It's almost like you should be awarded for that. I don't know if Morgan and Stillhead are in here, but they should probably be putting that on the list. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyways, I was pointed to the chat again. Sir Francis would like to know. Sir Francis and Dan Mano Billy will be celebrating their 26th year of marriage together, believe it or
Wow.
not, in August.
Not to other people,
No,
just
not to other
to each
people, but
other.
together. And
Nice.
he would like to know what you would envision a 26-year marriage cake to look like.
So usually, um, any anniversary higher than like 10, people want their wedding colors. So most people, and they usually want Like a lot of flowers, very traditional looking cakes. Big like roses around the edges, usually like muted colors. I've done a lot of these. um White border on the top, accent color on the bottom. Accent color is also the roses.
Hmm.
The writing is in black because it's very classy looking.
Mm. Okay. Well, now I need you to step away from doing traditional. This is
Okay.
two amp garters who are both
Yeah.
knights in our game, and one of them is Sir Francis, who is one of the most eccentrically dressed knights that we have.
Uh-huh.
And like dark or purples and reds and blues and yellows. And Damon Abali is an Order of the Ash member, so there's got to be a tree on there. And we have to get like it has to get bombastic is the word I'm looking for. It has to be over the top. It has,
Yeah.
yeah, not
So so feathers and tree branches and
yes.
leaves and heraldries and yeah, I could do that too. That is also an option.
Fantastic.
I'm making it in my head now. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that could work.
I'm gonna pitch you ideas. That's what I'll
Okay.
do. I'll be
Okay.
off to the side like, hey Spooks, how about a dragon that's got a chest of gold like inside of its little wraparound and yeah, do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
All right.
Damn it. No, I didn't realize that my brain just starts making cake when people describe them to me. Apparently it does that. That's cool.
Yeah. We're learning. We're learning new things all the time.
The cake just builds cake, or my brain just builds cake.
My cake just brings cake and the cake
Yeah,
is
the
cake.
cake and the cake,
Yep.
the frosting.
All right. Back on track.
Right. Sorry.
Morgan Morgan would like to know what's your favorite Amcard event?
I have never been to one before.
Hmm.
I want to go to Crowns at some point, especially now that I know people from different kingdoms, and
Hmm.
that's possibly the only time I'd get to see them without traveling all the way to Canada,
Hmm.
you know, because
Yeah, apparently you're huge in Canada. So,
I'm not huge in Canada. I just like it there a lot, and they do a lot of stuff, and they're all very nice. They're so sweet to me every time I'm there. I got to see get paged. Helped somebody. I didn't help. I was just there when somebody was picking his knighting sword.
cool. That's
They just
hey,
let me be a part of everything, and I love it.
well, it's factually true that the Northerners are the nicest people.
Yeah.
So,
I saw
yeah,
two people get Paragon Color recently, and I was screaming, so it's a good thing I was muted. I was very excited for them.
that's awesome. Cool. So you've never been to an event. So I'm gonna take away what's your favorite memory from an event. What's your favorite Amcard memory?
Um, Oddly enough, my favorite one is from the park that I didn't like so much. But my grandmother, again, you're just learning a lot about grandma. It was like an ANS day, I think, and my mom and my grandma took that as let's just pull out the big guns. So my grandma made a huge sub sandwich and a bunch of cupcakes and just came and was like, everybody get some. Everybody get a cupcake. You guys get a cupcake? Have you guys had some sandwich? They had tarps and stuff. And I was like, Grandma, you didn't have to do all this. And she was like, Yes, I did. You told me to come. You said that there would be feasting.
Uh, can I hang out with your grandma?
She's great. She's in
Um,
Arizona right now. But yeah, I'll hook you up.
Well, I mean, I've got to make some trips to Arizona once the kingdom opens up again. Maybe I'll just go hang out with your grandma and be like, "Hey, sandwiches and cupcakes. I'm here for it."
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that was all the questions about you currently. Let's talk a little bit about you in the future, or maybe present, but slightly in the future.
Future adjacent.
Yeah, yeah, future adjacent, much like Kingdom of Kodiak being Amcard adjacent, but this isn't about me. Here we go. Miranda would like to know what are your future plans in the game of Amcard?
Um, so I think I want to try and actually go more because my work schedule is really crazy and having three kids, it's really
Mhm.
hard to go, which is why I've been doing a ton now is because my kids can be in the other room playing and I could be doing amp guard. Um, but I want to try and go more and do more. And now that I know all these people, I want to travel more because that was never really a priority to me because I was like, I don't know any of these people. Like, I'm super awkward, like very jaded, very jaded from my first park, and so I'm kind of like, I don't know. But I want to travel more. I want to do more of the fundraising stuff. That was one of the things when I went to PV where I was like, there's more than just fighting. And they were like, yeah, there's fundraising, there's competitions, there's all kinds of cool stuff. And I was
Hmm.
like, I didn't know all of that.
I'm getting yelled at in the chat here, Spooky. Your positivity grove is that I'm supposed to point out that your positivity grove.
Oh, my positivity grove. I was mishearing you. I was like, what are you talking
Ah.
about? Right. That is the child of an A&S night where we were all just talking up Kenjin. Shout out to Kenjin. He's great.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
We just talk up Kenjin all the time. Um and how we're all working on, telling our friends we love them more. And I don't exactly remember the wording, but we decided to make a channel that's like a subset. It's like a sunnier part of with a witch because the witch's forest is kind of supposed to be spooky. It's not, but the grove is supposed to be like a pleasant place where you tag somebody and you say nice stuff about them. You give them just a little boost. Like if just tell your friends that they're doing good, tell them that what they're good at. Like help your friends get through this incredibly crappy time that we're all going through right now. um
Absolutely.
Again, this is killing my reputation as like a spooky doesn't care witch. I
Mm.
don't
Mm.
tell people that I'm nice.
No one will see this. No one sees KOK episodes. Come
Okay,
on.
cool, cool, cool.
No, yeah, it's fine. Also, I'm not the king or anything. I wouldn't like go tell my monarchy how awesome you are. Uh,
Don't do that. I'm scary and I'm mean and I
yeah,
don't I don't give a darn about nothing.
yeah. Beatrix did the same thing before she came on an episode, and now she's the darling of Dragonspine at this point. So you're probably locked in here, Spooks. Sorry to
Crap.
hear that. Speaking of Beatrix, she would like to know if you could tell us about your plans to be a master color.
So what started out as sort of a spite thing, because I was told that I was a cheerleader. That's all colors were. It started out as a spite thing, and then now, especially being online, became a joke. Like I'm gonna get Paragon in color because that's all I do. But then, hanging out with people, especially in the Nine Blades, they just got two Paragon colors, and hanging out with Katrissa, who is in Celestial Kingdom, she's a Paragon color, and Annabelle Lee, and then meeting Stillhead, who that's her goal. Um, it's a lot more than that now. It's
Hmm.
like an actual goal, whereas before it was like just a running joke. Um, of highlighting the fact that like just because we don't fight, like we're a big part of the game.
Sure.
We run a lot of stuff, especially spooky without even thinking about it. Like I always kind of aimed to be like the NPC character at the side
Hmm.
that adds to the kind of like, I don't know, ambiance of it, I guess.
Sure.
um and one of the monarchs let me hand out quests for a while. That was pretty cool.
Hmm.
um but yeah, like we matter. We matter just as much as fighters, and like we're an actual class of people that does stuff. Like the artisans are crazy. They do all kinds of cool stuff.
Hmm. No, it's true. It's absolutely true. Um, so that kind of speaks to the next question, but I want to see if you could expand upon it a little bit. Why do you believe there should be more master colors in the game?
Just for that recognition, like Bonnie the Broken Wench is one that just became, not to name drop a ton of out of kingdom people here,
That's fine.
but she so when I was talking to the Nine Blades about their really cool Discord setup, I guess she was really instrumental in how it was set up, and it was a group effort on how they have everything. But she's just so kind and sweet, and she was running a project for it,
Hmm.
and like it, I don't know. I think it's validation that we matter as much as Reeves or fighters. Like if you're doing something a lot and well, then you should qualify for the same awards that the people who do other things a lot and well do.
Hmm.
Especially since a lot of us, like me, it hurts to fight, so I don't. Like it hurts my body, and so it's like it's kind of like well, what am I supposed to do if I can't fight? Like, I just don't matter as much? Like, that kind of sucks. Don't want to feel that way.
No, absolutely. And you're right. We should be looking at our master colors stronger. And you have, I mean, just in this time, because we were talking about this before we started, but you and I hadn't had a whole lot of interactions before quarantine. But
Hmm.
since quarantine,
Yeah.
we have been talking a lot or sharing, at least sharing the same room where conversations are being had,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's amazing to see all the stuff you've done in what typically would be considered the background, but in a world where we're only online, it's very much the foreground. It's very much
Yeah.
what is happening. So,
Yeah. And I mean, I kind of enjoy the background, to be honest. I like adding the spooky, I like being the spooky music in the background of like a game when you start hearing that music and you're like, wait, 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 hold up. Why are you auto saving? What? I I enjoy being that,
right.
but it's okay that I'm more in the front right now, I guess.
Hey, it it it's not every day that you get an opportunity to find new leaders that can help people get through the tough times, and you're one of them right now. So don't ever lose that.
Yeah. I was asked to run for regent possibly, and that's never something I had ever thought of before. So we'll see
Are we getting
what
a
happens.
KOK exclusive here? Are you gonna announce your declaration a week in
I'm
advance?
not. I'm not.
Okay, all
I'm
right,
thinking about it.
okay,
I'm considering it. We don't know.
okay. Well, we just know that next week after, well, not next week, this Saturday after mid reign's over, there's gonna be a bunch of bears declaring for office again. So, uh, it's a
Mid
tradition.
rain or
Yeah,
end rain?
after mid reign, it's been a tradition that still Het and I and Morgan have we put our declarations in right away so people know, hey, we're not going anywhere. You have to put up with us. But it's not about me. Let's move on.
Do you say that every week or?
Every week, every
Okay, cool. Cool.
every week.
Okay.
Morgan would like to know: are you aiming for any specific belt paths?
No. Uh Everything, and this is, I don't know how to make this not sound crappy. I have stumbled into every achievement that I have gotten. um, because I just kind of do whatever I think will make me happy without upset. Like, I don't want to upset people. I don't want to, like, you know, trash people's camps or whatever.
Mhm,
But I do what I feel like I want to do, and then
mhm,
sometimes people are really into that. Like right now is the best example. The Witches Forest. I was like, "Hey man, can I mess around and take over some roleplay stuff?" And they were like, "Yeah." Polaris was like, "Here, have a voice channel." And I was like, "What am I gonna do with a voice channel?" I have my own voice channel in Polaris, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. And Nine Blades was also like, yeah, just post it in the tavern. That's fine. Just take over. It's fine. I don't know what to do. People just keep saying yes.
Well, I mean, again, there's a positive person trying to do some good for Amtgard. It, does it mean you need to be focused on a belt? No, but you're definitely doing things that would lead you down belt paths.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know. Like I'm an art. I do a lot of art, so I guess that'll probably take me the farthest. But I'm not really aiming for anything.
Okay.
What
Fantastic.
happens happens.
All right. So this will be more of a hypothetical then. But what's
Okay.
been your favorite project? Maybe working towards one of the four belts.
My favorite project. I am trying to get as many dragons with crocheting as I can, which didn't become a spite thing until the recent whatever was happening where that monarch said that they couldn't get awards for crocheting.
Hmm.
I don't know any of the details about that. Preface. I don't know any of the details about that. But
Yep.
I'm like, I've gotten a lot of awards from crocheting and I continue to get a lot of awards. My Dragon Master for this weekend is crocheting, and that's just because that's what I'm the best at. So that's what I always submit, is because it's what I have. I have a
Hmm.
ton of crochet stuff.
Okay. Fantastic. Um, Stillhat would like to know because she wants to capture your children. Uh, how do you
Ah,
pick names of your children?
so my children are named after planeswalkers from Magic the Gathering.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I think it was a while ago now, but I think that was sort of like a, we really liked Soren, And because we wanted to give them subtly nerdy names, like names they could carry into life and
Hmm.
like have a professional job with. Um, like and not have people ask questions, which for the most part it has. Most people don't clock their nerdy names,
Right.
so that worked out pretty good. I really liked the name Jace for our second son, and then once Gideon was born, we were like, well, we can't stop naming them with that theme now, or it's going to be weird.
Hmm.
So, so we have Soren, Gideon, and Jace, and I said them out of order for some reason. I don't know why.
That's
I don't
probably
know.
one of the best naming stories I've ever heard. So I'm here for it. Uh, Beatrix wants to get a little serious before we get to the funny questions. Um,
Okay.
how do you believe the game and the players can be more inclusive?
Um, So I think this ties both into the master color and my house is I think for a lot of people they don't understand like for me I can't fight. So like making me feel excluded, especially like my first park made me feel very excluded for not fighting.
Hmm.
That's like an inclusivity thing. Like in order to feel like I'm a valued member of the park, I would have to fight, but I can't. It'll hurt me. Um and then just with like autistic, so it's hard with communication, and that's where a lot of the roadblocks are is I'm trying to explain to you why I feel this way, but you're just kind of shutting me off because I'm annoying or I'm weird or and so that's kind of why I think the spectral dragons will really come in handy when we go back to how things were
Hmm.
is they offer that buffer of like this is going to help us talk to people because I've had that problem where like I think somebody's mad at me or somebody's joking and I'm like that kind of hurt like ouch. So just as far as accessibility goes, just maybe making battle games that have more accessibility in them. I've seen battle games where there's like stationary I think they were gods and goddesses and they were like a mechanic of the game but they didn't
Hmm.
move around and you weren't allowed to hit them
Hmm.
because then you'd lose, you'd
Hmm.
die. And that would include somebody like me who couldn't fight, but I can be part of a battle game. Or, somebody with mobility issues could be included in the game without getting hit by a foam sword.
Yeah.
Um, and so just communication, like taking a step back and being like, it's not about me and my able body and what I'm capable of doing. Like, how can we make sure everybody can be involved if they want to be?
Mm, that's great. I totally agree. That's fantastic, man. Uh, I would like to reflect on that, but I shouldn't because that means there's silence in here. Can you maybe point to a thing that Amp as a whole, or maybe Dragonspine specifically, is good at when it comes to being inclusive?
I mean, just in back to the communication with monarchs. I know MacGyver was insanely good about that. She was very good about like. She was also good about saying, "I don't understand this. I'm gonna find out what I need to find out to understand."
Hmm.
And so, in my experience, that's kind of been what I have found is that, um, like, even if I don't have the information right now, I'm willing to give the labor to find out so that I can understand my players better
Hmm.
and make it more comfortable and better for them. Um, so yeah, that's been my experience at PV at least.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get you traveling a little bit so you can meet some of the other people. That's the goal now. Kodiak is going to either get the mobile jacuzzi up, or we're gonna get spooky to some of these traveling things, and we're gonna go have fun. We're
I
gonna
have
eat.
3 children. It's very hard.
Well, I mean, we'll get a sitter. Grandma's got to help. Come on. We'll get cupcakes and sandwiches, and we'll talk about babysitting the kids. It'll be fantastic. It'll be great.
Oh,
Plus, also events like GOTC, they have a kitty area
yeah,
where,
Mother Hen runs it.
yeah, Mother Hen. Shout out to Mother Hen. There you go. We did that too.
Loves my children. Like, I think she'd kidnap them if she could.
We're getting so many shout outs today, Spooky. We're doing a great job with
I apparently know a lot of people. I don't know. I didn't realize how many people I knew until I
it.
started
Super good.
name dropping them.
Super good. Let's see. Uh, I was going to read a statement. I'll read it while you're answering the next question. It's the last question before we get to the funny questions.
These haven't been the funny questions. I thought it was
Well,
pretty funny.
I try really hard to have a serious show here, but um,
I just derailed that. Sorry. This is Spooky's comedy hour.
yes,
Like,
right.
welcome.
Welcome to Kingdom Spooky. She's spooky. I'm just here. All right. Still, I would like to know what kind of classes might you feel comfortable teaching on Discord?
Um, I know resin. I think I could teach okay. I think that would translate well. Crochet maybe. Crochet is hard for me to teach because I don't remember learning it. I just have known for a long time. So it's really hard for me to be like, okay, and then you move your hand like this because I don't even think about that stuff anymore.
Right.
Maybe painting. I'm pretty good at
Mm,
painting.
mm,
I know a lot of different paint stuff. Maybe. I wanted to teach a cake decorating one, but I can't like stream from my workplace and I don't have cake stuff here.
mm,
So
mm.
it would all be theoretical cake decorating. Be like, yeah, so we do this like that. Boom.
But
If I
oh,
if I had a rose, it would be like right.
right. So the additional question to that is, what classes would you like to see? It's selfish from the monarchy to ask, but
Yeah,
you know,
that feels like information farming a little bit.
yep. I'm not gonna lie, it probably is.
um, so this kind of goes hand in hand with the forest thing. Is I just really like to observe people.
Hmm.
Like I just watched Lord Valiant make chainmail on on the Nine Blades thing because I just like watching people do stuff. So
Cool.
like if it's an art thing, I can't follow along with the like class credit or the classes so much because I don't know what they're talking about.
Hmm.
But as far as art things or cooking things or story things, I will watch it all. I don't care. I'll
Okay.
watch all of them. I just like watching people do stuff that they like. I
Okay.
enjoy watching people be passionate about stuff.
That's all we're aiming for anymore. Is just be passionate about what you're doing. So, all right, we're getting to the funny questions here, Spooky.
Okay.
We're gonna start off with the most serious of the funny questions. These questions have started arguments on KOK. Is a
Okay.
taco is a taco a sandwich?
Isn't there like there's like a cubic diagram thing
Hmm. Hmm.
because like if in a square, a sandwich would be the top two sides, and a taco would be three sides. So like no,
Oh,
there's like a study about this, isn't there?
yeah. Oh, yeah. There
About
absolutely
like
is.
Pop Tarts and raviolis
Yeah.
and
Okay.
such.
All right. So no, which there's an argument there, but yeah, what if the taco shell breaks? What
Then
if it
yeah, it
what if
would
it breaks?
transmorph into a sandwich
Yeah.
by
So
that definition.
yeah, by the
I
properties of
live in a
witchcraft.
pocket dimension, man. You think I'm worried about about a taco turning into a sandwich?
Sometimes you gotta eat. I don't know if you're worried about it. Okay. Is the ocean soup?
No, you'd get dehydrated. You'd die.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Can't drink seawater, Kodiak. Don't drink seawater. Not
I
even
get
out of a spoon.
I get thirsty. Come on.
I mean,
Um,
you can get thirsty all you want. It's salt water.
the bear's thirsty over here. Morgan would like to know, what's your favorite stew?
My favorite stew?
Yeah.
Um, I don't have an answer for that. I don't
Mm,
know. I haven't had stew in a long time, I don't
spooky
think.
is Spooky's not eating stew, Morgan. Come on now. Spook's just not about it.
That a stew? I have
Is what?
potato soup waiting for me for after this. Potato soup?
Oh.
Is that a stew?
Uh, I don't know. It
Mission
says
of a
soup in,
stew.
it says soup in the title. I don't know.
Bad witch logic? I have no idea what a stew is.
That's fair. Okay. And why is stew an oatmeal?
See, I don't know the definition of stew. We just established that, so like maybe it is. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, there's a chance. Morgan, there's a chance that a stew is oatmeal and oatmeal is a stew. There's a chance. Spooky's
All
gonna
right,
go look into it. She'll get back to you at a different date. Her
I'll
people will contact
research
your
the
people. Yeah.
stew.
Uh, Spooky, this is a crucial question I need answers to.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
can peanut butter be put on a beef crunch wrap?
Beef crunch wrap?
Yes, that would be a tortilla with lettuce and beef and cheese of some variety and sour cream with a hard shell tortilla that's wrapped up, and then put peanut butter on top. Is
Very
that?
passionate about this.
Yes, I am. Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Okay. Um, I mean, not to go too true neutral on you, but like, if you want, like, it's not my business what you do with your peanut butter.
That's right. It's not. That's
I'm true neutral in a lot of stuff.
still hat. Are you listening?
Oh
Uh,
no.
it's not your business to care about my peanut butter.
I said it's not my business. I don't care what still. Again, I don't care if still it
Nope,
cares.
nope. I'm quote mining you. I'm taking
Oh
what you
god.
said and I'm going to use it against you in a court
Oh,
of law.
oh
Anyways,
god. Okay.
let's talk about you a little bit here. What is your favorite, or I'm sorry, not your favorite, your biggest food hot take? Something about food that you're like, this is a fact. This is a matter of fact.
I don't. I'm really weird about food.
I mean, that in itself is a hot take.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of texture problems and stuff. Dang, I like forgot every food I've ever eaten. Nice. I love it.
Nice.
I don't eat food, I
What
guess.
is food? Well, I guess that'll make this next question kind of weird. Morgan wants to know if he could trade you spooky cakes for Vanguard noms. He's
Yeah.
asking for a friend.
I'm always down for bartering of any kind.
Mm,
I forego capitalism at any chance I have.
fantastic. All right. Spooky, what is your favorite conspiracy theory?
The flat earth.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I love listening to people jump through hoops to convince me that the earth is flat. And then when I'm like, okay, all right, I believe you. The earth is flat. Now what? What about my life changes now that I believe the earth is flat?
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I love listening to them say the sun is a light bulb. My favorite. I could listen to flat earthers for hours. I
Fantastic. All right.
wasn't
This
prepared for that one, but I had one. I had one
well,
ready.
I I I asked a couple of them. Here's another one for me. Brand New is a band. Okay, so I need to
Yeah,
preface this.
I know
What is
they
your
are.
what is your favorite Brand New song, and why is it Guernica?
Oh crap, I forgot the name of the song that I like actually. I actually know who Brand New is.
Hey,
Listen, I was like a mall goth, okay?
Uh,
I still am a mall goth.
well, why don't you give us a couple of lines here of your favorite song, and I
Oh,
can.
that's not gonna happen. No.
Oh, all
No, no,
right
no,
then.
no.
Moving on.
Um
There will be no Bardic here today, folks.
crap. I don't remember the name of the song that I like, but I don't think it's that one.
Well, it might be Limousine, which is another good one off of The God and the Devil Are Raging Inside Me. But, anyways, go
Do I
listen
get
to Brand
points for
New.
like knowing who they are
Yeah, yep.
already?
You know what? You can have a point on the best bear scale. Even though you're not a bear, you have a point.
Uh
That's
I'm a bet.
yeah. Well, I mean, you have a point now, and that's more
Nice.
points than Morgan. So, Morgan,
All right.
Morgan,
Statistically, that's weird.
you're losing out to a bat in the best bear category. Just saying, Morgan. Anyways, we'll talk about me cheating later. Um,
Okay.
still, I would like to know thoughts on a Naruto reign.
I mean, I'm down.
Okay,
Let's do that.
let's
Do,
do that.
does she really pronounce it that way
No, but that's how I pronounce it.
though?
Cause
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
Na Naruto. Naruto.
Naruto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Still, I would also like to know what is your favorite anime?
Um. Or High House Club probably.
Mm-hmm.
Or Black Butler. I don't know. I'm really a fan of. Those aren't the same genre. My favorite was Helsing, and still kind of is. But I think if I found it now, I wouldn't like it as much as I did when I was an edgy mall goth.
Uh, Black Butler is fantastic.
Pretty
It's
good, right?
actually so. I have a cub. I have a little person as well, and
Oh,
it was the first manga that they started reading was Black Butler. Yeah, yeah.
weird choice, but all right. I
He's
mean,
8.
my
He's
my
8.
kids watch weird stuff too. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever. It's my kid. Um,
Yeah, man. It's
okay.
you can raise your kid however you want. I named my
Yeah,
kids after magic characters. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we are, getting really defensive about this stuff. Yeah, whatever, people. All right. Back on track yet again. Who's your favorite Hokage?
Um, I recently found out Kakashi became a Hokage, so I guess retrospectively him
Okay,
because all in it for Kakashi. So
there it is. And was Toby Rama correct in trying to eliminate the entire Uchiha clan?
I mean, probably weren't they kind of evil?
Whew, that's
I don't know. I didn't watch that much of it, to be
well,
honest.
you and
I
Tajima
kept
can go sit
trying.
in the corner because backing Toby Rama is the wrong
I
answer.
don't know who that is. I vaguely know who that is, but like not nearly enough. It's like voting when you didn't do your research and you're like, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
All right. Um, what recommendations would you give someone who hasn't watched a new anime since Sailor Moon got reboot?
Sailor Moon got rebooted. Okay, so like not to, out myself here. I've never seen Sailor Moon. I don't know why. Uh I don't know. I usually end up watching anime because Gideon is watching it and I'm in the same room and then I'm like accidentally listening and then I get invested in it.
There you go.
So I just accidentally watch anime all the time.
Okay. So no recommendations necessarily, but
Yeah,
you know, uh, Yu Yu Hakusho should be one that you watch. It's an older one. It's it's
bit of it.
primo. It's a good starting point. Still, would like to know: do you like to read, and do you have any recommendations for books?
I do like to read because of my like attention thing. I listen to audiobooks mostly. I burn through books like crazy with audiobooks. Pretty much anything Rick Riordan has ever written
Okay.
is pretty good.
Hmm.
Or Scott Westerfeld.
Okay.
He has a ton of books in a lot of different genres. Right now I'm listening to the Uglies series, which is oddly prophetic and is driving me crazy. Oh my god. Discord needs to shut up. Sorry.
Discord,
well,
behave.
because it's like dinging in my head, and I'm like, stop, 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 stop. I'm trying to
Okay.
think.
Okay. So those were your book recommendations. Morgan would like to know if you could, while using witchcraft or as the explanation,
Mhm.
can you explain where socks go when they're missing?
Have you ever been to Meow Wolf?
No.
Oh,
No.
it's this really crazy fun house, where the socks are in the walls and there's LED lights and stuff. So they all just go there. Like the artists don't even need to procure socks; they just end up in the walls. That's where they go.
Oh, okay. All right. And then Morgan would like to expand upon the witch category if he could. Um, can we have a witch versus bender battle? And he wants to specify that he'll be using Yang as his Pokemon bender.
You can't use you can't use Yang against me. He's my brother. That's cheating. And yeah, I suppose. I guess it depends on what kind of witch, because like I feel like a green witch would be like, I'm gonna throw a plant at you, like wah, like. But the Earthbender would just like, so it would have to be against somebody compatible, I guess. Now I'm just imagining throwing potted plants at people, which isn't really witchcraft. That's just
I actually
assault.
the same thing in my head. I was
That's just
like,
assault.
she just
Throwing
threw potted
rocks.
plants? What the heck? All right, calm down. All right, okay. Um, so Morgan, maybe depending, we'll see how many potted plants Spooky can get her hands on. We'll figure that out.
I have 5 within reach.
Oh, there you go. Morgan would also like to know. Let me breathe. While Kodiak was singing back in black, his snack was stolen by a whack polar bear attack. Will you provide him with some mac so he can cut me some slack and step back?
That reminded me so much of Ben Shapiro singing, like reading the lyrics to WAP.
I'm only slightly offended by that. Mm.
The energy of somebody just blank faced reading rap.
Yeah, right. Just like I'm just looking off and being like, here's the words that are being said. Um, but can you give me some mac and cheese?
Mac and cheese. Like, I'm not Santa. Kodiak, stop asking. I'm
Come
not
on,
Santa.
come on. I only ask for so many things, and one of them is that you give me mac and cheese.
And I am not Santa. And if you want something, you have to come during office hours and pay for it.
What are office hours?
They are from like 12:02 to 12:37 on like every other Thursday.
I could do that.
Oh shit. I'm
I'm
gonna get a text.
available.
Oh God.
Give me my mac and cheese. Anyways, two more questions. Three more questions.
Okay.
If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be, and why is it Freddie Mercury?
Oh man, that would be dope. Like that's not who I would meet, but like if I got that, I wouldn't be mad about it. Like he's a
Okay.
super interesting guy
hmm
who
hmm
was amazing for LGBT history.
Right. So who would it be if you could pick anyone?
Probably Andy Warhol. He's a pretty crazy
Ooh.
dude as well. That was a pretty big thing about pop art. I have a tattoo of one of his paintings. Um, yeah, I just think he's I mean, a little bit of a tool bag, but like I'd still like to talk to him.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, aren't we all a little bit of a tool bag? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
come on. All right. Still, would like to know how many crimes has the ice bear committed today? And by ice bear, she means Morgan, of course.
Ice Bear has committed no crimes
No
today.
crimes have been committed. All right. Well, that's gonna make this
Today.
last question really, really awkward. Um, do you think that Kodiak cheats?
I mean, you've literally told me you cheated. It's on video like four
Okay.
times.
What?
This is the point in the movie where I hold up like a recorder that I've been like
Oh
recording you
man,
the whole time.
the
And I'm like,
music
aha,
screen comes in. Oh god.
yeah, yeah. Like
Oh,
I reveal that I'm wearing a wire.
this whole time. Damn it. That's not good. All right. All right, Spooky, if you could just bear with me so I can make some announcements and then we'll say our goodbyes. Uh, Birding Lands, Jagged Spine people, the RP page, there's some new content up. Go check that out. Maybe you can tie your stories into it. Uh, Anyone that's listening to this that has heard about this or hasn't heard about this, Sir Smiley started an awesome fundraiser for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. There are people that are shaving their facial hair to get some money. If we get to $5,000, Sir Smiley's going to lose his mustache. Sir Francis is going to end up with a mohawk and a soul strip. It's going to be fantastic. We've already met the $500 goal, so my beard will be gone as of the end of February. We've met the $1,000 goal, which means Cato's beard will be gone at the end of February. But please, if you have an opportunity and you can afford to do so, donate to this cause. It is for the children. Dragonspine specifically, we have a BOD election or confidence vote. We have prime minister. We have an amendment. All of that stuff is being voted for. That all of those results will be due on the 6th. If you haven't taken that opportunity to go speak to your prime minister with your decisions, please do so. We want to make sure that every voice is heard. This weekend, Dragonspine, anyone who wants to attend, is our mid reign. We're going to have a Dragon Master. We're going to have our mid reign. During the Dragon Master, I will have a wellness time. So if anyone wants to check in and see how they're doing, after court, there will be a class by Sir Randall, the history with Sir Randall. I think he wants to start with very early Amcard and start working his way through it in a multi class series. So come check that out as well. I think that's all my announcements. Spooky,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. You're fantastic. You're a wonderful person, and
Aw.
you can now join the cult of Kodiak.
Ruin my reputation. Don't tell people
Well,
that I'm nice.
eh. I mean, that's all I do. Really, is I try to hurt people's reputations by my presence. So Spooky, it was fantastic having you on. Thank you so much. For anyone watching, next week we will have Unknown, followed by the week after of Goldcrest. Uh, that will be episode 48, which means we are 4 episodes away from that point of doing 1 year consecutively every week of KOK. That's going to be a big deal. So thank you for everyone that's been watching. And until next time, I'm Kodiak. This has been Kingdom of Kodiak.